Let's try this again. Yo, what's up and welcome to the Drumscape Library podcast. I am Tripon.
Yes, this is Bank Pain. Haiti couldn't join us today, unfortunately, but we are sure to remedy this in the future.
Yeah, he comes and he goes as he pleases. He's a magical wizard.
He's been keeping quiet recently, which, you know, I respect that decision. Anyway, yeah, Drumscape Library podcast. This whole operation was your idea, so why don't you introduce us to what we're doing tonight?
So I had this idea a few months ago that we should make a podcast for Drumscape Library that will be promoting not just, or well, mainly the drum and bass of this fandom, but also other stuff that you wouldn't find from the channel otherwise. We're also going to have some non-pony stuff there, but we're going to keep it very, very minimal, like as minimal as possible, as you will be seeing in this episode. And this episode will be sort of a pilot, a test episode to see how it will go. So I think that's about it for the starters. There's nothing to it much really, that we just want to do this for fun and test out how it's gonna go.
Yeah, and you know, it's a good opportunity for us to share content that we enjoy beyond the scope of the channel, and yeah, as long as some other people get things out of it, and maybe we can introduce someone to music that they will subsequently enjoy for themselves. That sounds good to me. So yeah, let's do this.
So yeah, basically what we have here is we have songs that we have selected, or well, this time I have selected the songs.
Yeah, I can't vouch for the songs that are in here this time because I had nothing to do with the track list. But
if you hate them, blame Tripon.
Yes,
everyone Bankman did nothing wrong.
I have nothing to do with this, so
I think we should just get on to the music stuff. So first off, we're gonna have the song from the newest State of Sugar, Ice Cream, which is Zizkil's Mirror in the Dream. And this is a song I actually wanted to feature on the channel, but I didn't think it was drum and bassy enough to really feature on Drumscape Library, so that's why I thought it would be a perfect way to start off this episode.
Yeah, start off the drum and bass podcast with playing something that you didn't think was sufficiently drum and bass.
Well, I wanted to feature it because it has the drum and bass part on it, man. Come on. So it's like technically we featured it now, okay?
No, I get it. Phrasing.
Yeah, let's just get into it, yeah. So yeah, that was Zizkil's Mirror in the Dream.
Zizkil has been like consistently really good at making like super fresh tracks that like clearly exhibit his style in a lot of ways, but like he doesn't necessarily stick to a consistent genre, which is something I totally relate to and can appreciate. For this track in particular, I think it's the drum and bass influence is very quite obvious in a lot of the parts, and I think that it works very well with the style that he's chosen.
Yeah, it's like I've loved that voice crack though. I've loved Zizkil stuff for a long time now, and like there's something about it, something unique about it that really just gets me all these vibes. I'm like, ooh, damn, that's good. It's like really weird because I usually don't like melodic music at all, or well, I just prefer heavy hitting bangers instead of melodic music. But Zizkil just has that something. It's just that some oomph to his melodic stuff. That's like, hell yeah. And it's I don't really have anything else to say. Well, okay, maybe in like his drum and bass sections, I think like what would work amazingly would be like to switch the drums, which is something that a lot of people, a lot of producers, even on professional level, just don't do. When they switch up the styles of the song, they don't like include different drums when they should.
It's weird because there was like this time in 2014 or something. I might be dating this wrong, but when like switching into drum and bass during your trap song was kind of a popular thing that people did. There were like a couple tracks up on Monstercat where you would just make drum and bass, but with 808s. And I'm sorry to disappoint people who maybe thought that this was a good idea, but there's generally a reason why D&B uses the kinds of drums that it does use. And that reason is that when you're working at 174 BPM, it really helps to have short percussion.
Yeah, especially when it's like full time, just bunk, 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 constantly, and just hats into it. It just doesn't work unless you're making some crossbreed stuff. It just doesn't work to have big drums.
There's always ways to make everything work if you try really hard, but it requires a level of like technical understanding of how you mix everything that is perhaps like beyond common knowledge in every possible way,
which I don't have at all, obviously. You may have some, but I have none. I'm absolute trash when it comes to production. I am.
I would argue that statement based on results, if nothing else. But
I think that's I think we should move on right now.
Sure.
So the next one we would have is a bit of an older one. This is from 2013.
Oh yeah, bringing out the old shit for us to listen to. That's
it's from Everfree Northwest's own like compilation album Road to Everfree, and it's a song called Voodoopony's Bad Cupcakes.
Yeah, bring the classics, dude. Okay, so I assume we're back on air?
Yeah.
Good. Well,
that was short and very sweet.
It's very interesting, especially for a track released in 2013. I haven't heard this before. This is the first time that I actually heard the song.
Yeah, I actually scouted from, like, I searched just MLP drum and bass from YouTube, and I think I just found it from a mix, and
right.
I just decided, hey, this actually sounds really good. I was like, I gotta snag it. But I actually didn't realize it was so short.
It's a very interesting choice of like track composition to make it like a minute and a half, basically. What I was going to point out is what I think is quite remarkable about this particular tune, because this is a very niche kind of sound in terms of being, well, combining a few, you know, like out of place elements with what is effectively like kind of a jungle sort of old school drum and bass vibe. And I didn't really expect this to be very well represented in the fandom in 2013, because that just didn't happen in my experience. So this is a very interesting find.
Yeah, and it's like, actually, it's the mix. In the mix, it was from I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was actually Spiky Wikey's mix, which is pretty funny because, as you may know, Spiky Wikey or
Tacos or Sick Day, any one of those.
he was the one to actually start this whole channel, like when it was at its very like early stages as Exquisite. So
yeah, this was like his first attempt at starting a pony promo channel before Cider Party was a thing. So he later went on to make Cider Party as a more generalized version of Equicity, which we then rebooted and renamed to Drumscape Library a couple of years later.
Yeah. We can talk about that in another episode. Just a little bit of Drumscape Library history. We can switch off, just pick all the history books and dust them off and just start reading them for you guys.
Go down to the archives of the Drumscape Library from the very early ages of when it was opened.
The cold and murky cellar of the library, just which we'll find all the stuff from.
Yeah, boy.
So next up, on as the third song, we have something from Suskii. Or Suskii. How do you say, actually? Suskii. How do you say his name?
I imagine it's Suskii.
I actually, why don't I know about this? That's weird. Yeah, I think it's Suskii as well. So this is from Suskii's newest EP, which came out like a few weeks ago. And it's called, the song is Void, and it's not drum bass at all, but it's something else.
I've heard like one track of this EP before. I think it might have been Void, but I'll find out.
Void is my favorite of this EP. It's
like an electro sort of thing, like kids kind of res type thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really cool sounding. So let's just jump into it now.
Sure, sounds good to me.
oi, oi.
Well, wasn't that interesting? Okay, so I previously said that I heard one song off of Uncertain EP before, and I wasn't sure if it was Void or not, but it was in fact Void. So I did hear this before.
Were you uncertain of hearing it?
Oh,
the podcast is over. The podcast is over. It's over. Bye. But yeah, so that song. So Suskii. It's such a lovely song, and such a lovely way of just combining like melodic stuff with some really like hard hitting stuff, you could say. It's like it's that the perfect balance between like being a heavy track, heavy electro track, and this kind of euphoric almost. And I love the outro. The elongated outro is just so good.
It has a very relevant feel to it in terms of like following quite recent production trends that I've been observing more and more. Like stuff at that BPM has been fairly popular for the last 2 years or so, but it also follows some very modern sound design in the drops. And overall, I think Suskii has made something quite interesting here. Not to say that like I 100% agree with all the sound design choices, but it's big ups. Like it's still very nice.
Yeah, like well, overall the rest of the EP too. Like it's not really it's not really something I enjoy a lot, but I still like. I can hear it's really well produced, just really well made, and it's like I enjoyed it personally, the EP, when I first heard it. But yeah, Void just stood out for me. But well, let's get moving on more. So the fourth song we have is Nexaka, All Together Now. And this is a song from 2014.
Yeah, bringing in the classics. Again, having really joined myself in 2016 on Ponies to Dawn Voyager, I don't actually have very comprehensive knowledge of pony music up until that point, other than, you know, the stuff that everyone knows anyway. So it's actually quite exciting for me to, you know, have Triggs dig out all this old shit that I wasn't familiar with. So yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to that.
So yeah, let's go then.
Yeet.
well-being of all my subjects.
Whoa, oi. That's a tune. That's a tune.
That's such a nostalgic vibe, dude. Like, whew. What do I even say? It feels very much like the year that it came out in.
Oh yeah, 2014. That's a banger. But yeah, like this was a proper blast from the past, because this was from Balloon Party's Academy of Power Mindscapes. So there you go. That's something you haven't probably heard in a long while. So this was the first song on that humongous album, and it really
the album opener too.
Yeah, it really deserves the spot. This song has everything. It has proper drum and bass beats, proper euphoric drum and bass beats, 4 on the floor, which you pointed out during listening, and just halftime sections just top it off, and it's just well made all around. It's like Nexaka, man, this dude was good. I feel like he was sort of like the this small drum and bass ambassador of this fandom.
I don't know, like this person just disappeared at some point, or
yeah, 3 years ago, its last update. I don't know what happened to them.
Oof.
Would be amazing to know what happened to them, but even the SoundCloud is the same, just dead.
Can I get an F in the chat for Nexaka? Anyway, what else do you have for us here, Trix?
Let's get on to this 5th song. And this is where we're getting to the like real stuff. This is the first non-pony section, and this is Enei, and he's a Russian producer. This is his song Modulate from an album or an EP, I think, released on Critical Music not too long ago, called New Energy Volume 1, and it's just such a murky tune. It's like a proper murky tune, and like I'm a huge fan of Enei, having seen his live shows, that I just had to like include this in the show. And as I said, like this is definitely not going to be like a huge section of this podcast. Like we'll still mainly stay on the fandom stuff, but we just want to include some of the other stuff as well that we love to listen. But let's just get into it. This tune. Oof. Yeah, that's a banger.
Good stuff.
So I don't really have anything to say about that track, but you had something to say.
What would I have to say? Except for my...
Oh, you know, for a track named Modulate, there's not much modulation going on. Ooh, just some banter.
For a track called Modulate, there's not a lot of modulation going on here. If I can, like, throw out a few subtle roasts.
But yeah, and I don't really have much to say about Enei's song. It's like, it's just solid production always. Just, oof. Oi, 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 oi.
Good stuff, yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. To move on, we have someone who's an absolute legend in this fandom. Just someone who I've loved their songs just always. There's like they don't do stuff that much, but whenever they do, it's just incredible. And that's Skyrunner, and the song is The Stalker.
This one being from the recent Ponies Adore Enigma.
Yep.
Just to shout them out for a second. Top lads. I would hope that everyone who listens to this is already aware of this track, but in case you aren't, you're in for a real treat, because this is a big one.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's jump right into it.
She's way too good, man.
Like, huge in the atmosphere in this one. Like, I don't exactly know what the inspiration for this was specifically or where the samples are taken from, but the vibe that this track has is really out there, and I totally appreciate people going for a darker sound in music that isn't necessarily atonal in nature. Looking at you, Trix, but
how dare you?
No, it's something that I very much like to see. So huge ups, Skyrunner.
Yeah,
good on you.
As someone who's a metalhead and overall just loves like creepy music and ominous music and murky stuff, just like the Enei song was just, I love creepy stuff, and especially when it's on drum and bass, it's just oi.
Real murka.
So, let's just keep on moving on. Next up we have something entirely different, but that's something that's actually fairly closely related to drum and bass, in my opinion, because of the origins of both genres, even if they're nothing alike, really. We have a hip-hop song.
Oi.
And the title is this. It's ZD and Kozmos, a Manehattan story produced by Steryotype, and it actually really tickled me in the right ways, because I don't usually listen to hip hop, even though I really enjoy hip hop. Haiti would probably have a few words to say here because he loves hip hop. He loves his hip hop, but
Haiti is also very selective about what kind of hip hop he loves. So.
Yeah, that's true though. But let's just get into the song right now, shall we?
Okay, well, let's do this. Let's listen to this tune.
Slam at the drink, put your tab on the seat. Chillin' with your boy while the lights hit the street. Cold on day, whatever he might say, man, never gonna rest with the bills in your way. Check it with your guy, he's looking at the sky while the streets seem to weep with water in their eye. A smile on his face seems to tell a different pace, but you know the city seeks to bend you to your knees. Another tax here, another shooting there, another wild chase while the sirens start to blare. But what this kid sees, it ain't what it be, but I'd rather not say what the kid wants from me. Blinded by the parties, blinded by the lights, blinded by the move to a city at night. I wanna see his mind, I wanna be his kind, I wonder what he's thinking at this weary time.
We cruising down Broadway, looking at the skyline, looking so fine while we're cruising through the high life. Bow tie supply, it's 9:01. Oh my, so fine, these mares are a dime. New city feel, new city chill. The city never sleeps, but that's the appeal. Gas in the tank, bits in the bank. Rolling down the street in this jungle of steel. From LP to MH, the crib is where we stay. From PM to AM, we party with the scratch. West side to East Coast, the crew goes where we go. I know, he knows, but we know where the scene goes. Blinded by the bills, blinded by the ills, blinded by everything except all the thrills. I wanna see his mind, I wanna know his kind. I wonder what he's thinking this cheery time.
Back to reality, ain't even playing, be a bright sign, and the light seems to be killing me. A felony is struck back a block ago, why you so happy? Late, can we please, buck up these, parties ain't what they used to be.
Hey G, better get with the times while you down in the city of lights. Weapons, seeing the sights and no getting in fights. Let go of your strife and start feeling sublime and have a fun time.
Why make the climb? You're feeling sublime, well I'm falling behind. But I work and stick to the grind. Every time we stick on this, I've been in the piss where you feeling the bliss. From a small town to the big leagues, kids.
Big leagues will riddle me this. You're sitting there feeling down and shiz. I might be sublime, but there's more to this. I get away from the pain and strain of life's fears. That's how it is.
I get the gist, but it ain't my biz. See the lights don't grab my single monitor lens. I'm tense, but talking wild in the sense doesn't grab my relaxation sideways. I have my ways for these days. I'ma stick to what I lay down.
Hey now, ain't that profound? I live my life from beat to the city sounds. It surrounds me, a familiar feeling. I can see things clearly, that's my honesty really. But honestly, this isn't a fallacy. I live my life and you can keep your mentality.
There are 8 million stories in the big city. This is mine.
Aye, that was a really good hip-hop song, and it's actually from something I should mention. It's from Straight from the Heart, or SFTH, which is well, on the SoundCloud it says it's a brony hip-hop movement for the silent majority of hip-hop bronies who also deserve to be represented. And that's exactly right, because that song was really, really good, in my opinion. Proper chill vibes.
Yeah, very, very cool vibe on this one. I'm going to come out and say that I don't generally like seek out this style in particular, but when I do come across it, you know, like the jazz hoppy kind of thing, it's very enjoyable. I do very like it, which is maybe to be expected since I've recently just released something along these lines with MC Hodge myself. But yeah, very, very cool tune. Very good vocal performance. Nice piano sampling, I assume, maybe. So yeah, very enjoyable. Quite liked it.
The vocal work was really good. It's like the flow was on points, in my opinion. I'm not a hip-hop fan, so I know nothing about it. But in my opinion, it was really well done.
Yeah, like I don't think either of us is very like qualified to judge whatever the vocal performance is in detail. But I can say that I liked it because I really, really did. So yeah, shout out ZD Kozmos.
We're just two drum and bass kids trying to. Well, yeah.
Just a simple drum and bass producer trying to make our way in the universe.
So to keep it on interesting in the genre selection, we have something entirely different again next up. And this is something that's definitely my choice because I'm the metalhead here. And it's
Metal Minute.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Koron Korak, Time is Running Out, feat. SDreamExplorerS. SDreamExplorerS.
Shout out SDreamExplorerS or Soul Strings.
So yes.
Good dude.
So this again is from the newest State of Sugar album, Ice Cream, which I've actually found out I've loved so many songs from this album. I don't usually go back to a fandom album this much as I do with A State of Sugar's Ice Cream. I don't know what it is about it, but it has some really, really good quality tracks. But yeah, I think we should just get on to listening it.
Just a couple of words about ASOS. I think they've really improved in quality over the past year or so. I think Violent's been doing a great job managing this stuff and getting people to submit music that is actually on par. And yeah, I'm actually quite excited to see what they can do in the future, because if this continues, then they're going to be another great source of pony music that we can all look forward to listening to.
Ah, that's hot. That's hot. So yeah, that was Koron Korak's Time is Running Out feat SDreamExplorerS.
Very cool style. I'm just really, I love seeing people like collaborate across several styles that in a way that feels organic. To combine whatever it is that they do, and this is a very good example of that within Pony. Koron, of course, being the orchestral influence, while Soul Strings provides his guitar stuff. And Soul Strings is really, really good at what he does, and I can say that having worked with him in the past. So
I really want to ask Soul Strings like at some point to provide some banging guitars on something I will be making maybe in the future. We'll see about it. He's a really good lad.
well, I can very much recommend. I can recommend working with him. So very, very good lad.
And about my experience with that song, well, I love metal. I love all kinds of metal, but I especially love folk metal. And there's this Finnish band known as Korpiklaani, which is one of my absolute favorites. And that song right there was like some scuffed Korpiklaani, but in the best possible way, I think. I really, really love it. Really love it. Nothing more to say about it, just really love it. Moving on, we have the 9th song coming up. Again, moving on across all genrescapes, we have Etherium Apex 2nd Prances. This is the vocal VIP featuring Nicole Carino. I think I said that correctly. I'm sorry if I did not.
From fear that let me down, I had to make it somehow. I'll find my way, no need to feel ashamed. No turning back, it has to be this way. As the silver light spreads, my heart
I'm not one to really enjoy house usually, but that got me kind of well, really. I don't have anything to really say. I don't know anything about house. Do you?
I mean, as much as your average person would. Well-produced song. Quite enjoyed it. Vocal performance is nice. I can't really say anything good about Glimmer songs without necessarily breaking my public image. So just pretend that I didn't like it.
Okay, but that being said, we're moving on to the 10th song. And this is once again, we're jumping away from the fandom stuff. And we're jumping into something that's... This producer is a legend, and he's a machine, and I don't think he's a human, actually. I'm forced to believe he is a human, but I still don't believe it. It's like a paradox, because this man is a paradox. Because this man manages to make the exact same song, and its exact same soundscapes all the time, and still sound fresh. This is Current Value with his song Isotropy. And it was released on Meth Lab recently, and it was part of a 2-song like EP sort of thing, and it's called Sentinel 001. So I assume it's a new series that will be coming out. So let's just move on with it, and we'll just listen to this Current Value, and it's such a great song, and I have lots of things to say about it later on. Value. Never go wrong with that. Can never go wrong with the hey.
Yeah, fucking I love Current Value, always like splicing like sweet, smooth, melodic intros with drops that are just so incongruous with whatever the song started out as that it almost feels too disjointed to make sense. But then he makes it work somehow, and I admire that a lot.
What Current Value did with this song that I really love is how much the drums add to it, like the swing that they have. That's one small hat on it. It's so much for some reason, even though the drums are really minimal. It's like that, just a. It's. Oh, the swing on it, it's so good. The man's a machine from a whole another like level. I don't even know how to describe him. It's unfair, really. But to move on to the last song of this podcast, we have FilledSilhouette's Annexation. And he's a really small producer in this fandom who has just released a new EP called the New Form EP, and this is a song from that EP, and it's really good ambient, just really chillaxing. I love it. I've been loving ambient a lot more lately, and I think this would fit perfectly for the ending of this first episode. And with that, I think we should just say goodbye to you guys and thank you for tuning into this first episode. And we'll see you maybe next month, because we were thinking of doing this as a monthly thing. At least I was thinking.
Yeah, big ups from me too, for everyone who was sticking around until the end. We are aware that for the first episode, this is going to have some kinks here and there, and we, if we can establish some kind of schedule here, we'll try to bring you better stuff as time goes on. So stick with us.
Yeah.
But
so this was certainly like the episode number 0, because it was a test for fun and just to see how it all was going to just pan out. And there's definitely...
Yeah, actually make the episode number 0. That's actually a good idea that I very appreciate.
And I hope I could have managed to like somehow edit this video or this podcast into like a really proper one, because there was a lot of stuff that was said that was definitely not going in because it was weird. We had to re-say a lot of stuff. It's definitely a learning experience, and I'm sure it will be easier next time and easier as we go on. And this is really something I would love to keep up as a monthly thing, because so much music is released from this fandom like every month, and just I would love to just like throw that little promotion for anyone who's in this. And I'm sure like next time Bank Pain will have his own recommendations as well, and maybe we'll get Haiti on sometime as well. And maybe there will be some, maybe like the future could maybe bring some guests as well. We'll see about it. It's a future thing. Anyways, I'm rambling on. Thank you once again, and that's goodbye. So as we move
okay,
on,
before we do that, give me 1 second because I have to go pee, but I'll be back.
okay, commercial break.
Is this the part where we say that this podcast is sponsored by Audible and you should go pick up your free audiobook if you follow the link in the description,
Just
which
go
is
pee, man.
audible.com/.
Just go pee now.